Welcome back to coverage here at Grand Prix Washington, D.C. I'm Marshall Sutcliffe. I'm in the booth with Kenji Egashira, Pro Tour competitor Kenji Egashira. On the top of your screen, you'll see our teams lined up. Team card holder on the left there, Ili Kassis, Shaheen Sarani, and Noah Walker. With Noah kicking things off here on table number C against Zen Takahashi, Jason Chung, and Javier Dominguez.
Oh, no.
Two New Zealanders and a Spaniard. And what?
Oh, no.
How did a sparring construct make it onto the battlefield in Team Sealed, Kenji?
Jason Chung, who is Zen's partner, was a big champion of Slitherblade.
Oh, he definitely was.
He was one of the first to champion that deck. I don't know if he had some weird influence on this going on right now, but I wouldn't normally think sparring construct makes your deck. So
no way, that card's awful.
So he probably has a lot of historic cards
Look
that
at
matter.
this. Vicious offering to kill Danitha. Okay, fair enough. A nice little 1-for-1.
Right.
Look at that sparring construct facing down the mighty Yavamaya Sapphire and making it look bad. He must have a lot of equipment or something.
There are probably a few reasons why he has that in his deck.
He has to have something. Because remember, we are playing Team Sealed. 12 booster packs here. You have a lot of choices for what you play, and some of the cards that you don't play in your deck are really good.
Right.
So seeing a card like Sparring Construct on the battlefield is definitely an eyebrow raiser for sure. Let's see if we can tell the tale later. Here's Rite of Belzenlock now for Walker, and that poor Construct's never getting in.
To be fair to Zen, the Knight of Grace and the Danitha are high-quality cards.
Absolutely.
So he might just be playing that for curve purposes, trying to be super aggressive.
Man, you'd really want to have that curve. I mean, that is such a extremely specific choice to make.
I see a Deathbloom Thalit in his hand as well.
Yeah, he also has Cast Down and Knight of Malice, so he has one each of the two knights there.
Okay, that's good.
He does have a Dominant Trapper. That's one of the cards that came to mind when I saw the construct as well as the trigger.
Does he have any Cabal Paladins? You could have maybe a Traxos randomly.
No Cabal Paladins.
Two short swords, okay.
He's got a Forebear's Blade and a Jousting Lance as well as two short swords.
Okay, so a lot of equipment.
A lot of equipment. That just must have been his thinking on it then. But you got to like Noah Walker's position here at a cushy 16 life. He's not going to be dying to any of these attacks anytime soon. With a lot of blockers on the ground.
Yeah, about to get a 6/6 demon. Don't normally see Sapling Migration for just the unkicked cost when you're already, at 5 mana, but I guess his reasoning here is that he kind of still wants to go a little bit wide. He knows his right's going to pop off soon, and he'll start sacrificing creatures.
Yeah, he might even go for some multi-block here, right?
Depending if Zen attacks, sure.
He did last time.
Yeah, but I mean, are you going to throw all 4 of your green creatures in front of the Knight of Grace? Like, what are you going to do there?
I think I'm going to throw all 4 of my green creatures in front of Knight of Grace.
Okay.
I mean, if it trades off for the Sapphire, I'm stoked.
No, but it gets to eat at least 2
Oh, it
creatures.
does have 3 power.
Yeah,
sure. So
and it's first strike,
I'm still it's still trading off for the Sapphire, right?
Maybe. No. He would eat 3 tokens, I think, right?
Sure. I'm saying either one.
Sure. Okay.
And the Sapphire brings a token with it, so it's still just that exact amount of value. And look at this. He's doing it. Noah Walker's on the plan, and it worked. Sapperlink's down.
That's probably fine for both players. Then happy to get off the 3 relevant tokens.
Definitely. But Noah taking really the only relevant creature on the other side.
Sure.
Also maintaining some of his life total because this Rite of Belzenlock just went off. Tick-tock.
Very rarely do you actually see the demon token actually dealing 6 to anybody.
Never happens.
Unless it's attacking, of course, but you know what I mean, yeah.
Yeah. Arvad the Cursed hits the bin as well as Jousting
Wow.
Lance from the kicked Caligo Skin Witch. Skin Witch, my favorite common in the set.
It's very good. It's like
Love
it's
that
relevant both early and late.
Yes, definitely.
And when people are kind of sandbagging stuff a lot of the time because, you know, they have their own kicker cards, for instance, or they have cards that are relevant with historic triggers, they want to hold on to them until later.
And the tradition continues of the 6/6 demon literally never attacking or blocking ever.
It's funny that that card
Cast
isn't
down.
legendary
I know.
itself. So
It feels like it should be.
it should be, yeah.
But I don't think it actually should be because it's right of Bells and Lock. If it brought Bells and Lock, then what would you call actual Bells and Lock,
guess.
right? Doesn't work out. Oh, and there's our card of the day so far, at least from when you and I have been in the booth here. Urgaros, the empty one, has done a lot of work for whoever's had it.
Card has ended multiple games today.
Definitely. Yeah, both by taking away cards, but
Yep.
also literally just dealing lethal damage, too. Card's been really good.
So it's up to Zen now. See if he wants to attack with the Aven Sentry still, as he does have a little bit faster clock than Noah does, but he can just leave back the Sentry to trade away, of course. Issue with that is letting Noah untap puts you into a wide variety of removal spells. Given that Noah's only used a Vicious Offering this game, it's not unlikely to think he might still have like an Eviscerate or something.
Absolutely.
Settle the score.
So Noah's going to make a trade once again. This time Deathbloom Thalad's going to die to the Yavimaya Sap Herd, leaving behind just the 1/1, but doesn't look like it's going to do too much. But Noah is down to 7 now, thanks to the Aven Sentry attacking.
Yeah, you'll notice Zen played out his last, or one of the lands last turn, so he's discarding that last card, which happened to be another land, but
He does have to be careful here, though. The only thing that really matters is that Sentry, as Noah Walker has some options. He can leave back Urgaros if he'd like. And it looks like the Memorial's going to get sacked here. Memorial Glory is going to put a couple of 1/1s in play.
yeah, they don't look too good right now.
They really don't, no.
It just depends on how aggressive Zen wants to get. He can even attack in with like the Sparring Construct if he wants to, but the 0-1 Clerics are actually kind of relevant.
They are, and there's still 3 of them left.
Yep.
That demon didn't have a lot of food.
As
Since
normally,
Didn't last on the battlefield very long.
if Zen was able to attack with a Sparring Construct, he would usually deal 1 damage or trade away, or get eaten, and then he could put the counter on the Sentry and kind of threaten a 2-turn clock.
But now it can actually just be blocked
Yeah.
without having it die. Interesting.
Looks like he might make that attack, though.
Nope. Just going to be the Aven Sentry this time. Knight of New Benalia was the draw step, so this gets really interesting. Is it time, Noah?
I mean, at 7 life, or 4 life, as it should be, I think, I'd be pretty tempted to draw another card.
I would too, although it is a little sketchy. He has now 6 creatures on the ground, and there are 5 creatures down for Zen. Now, he did just play the Skittering Surveyor, though, so that helps out. But I agree with you, Kenji. I think I'm getting in there.
Yep, draw a card. Zen has no cards to discard.
Yeah, kind of interesting. No one knows exactly what outs he's going for, so he decided to play the Surveyor first to potentially thin a land out of his library. That did limit what he could do with his mana by 3, but he knew the cards he's going for here, probably cards like Eviscerate that you mentioned earlier, he could still cast.
It'd be cute if Zen drew a way to kill his own construct here. Force through lethal.
He does have an Eviscerate in the deck, by the way.
Okay. Zen does?
No.
Noah does.
Noah does,
All right.
yeah. And he had the 1 Vicious Offering that we saw. He doesn't have any more of those, though.
That was a good draw for Zen.
What did he find?
Ease their glider.
Oh, yeah, the Aether Glider.
That's a nice one. Another
Lethal.
Yep, relevant flyer.
Wow, it feels like Noah's kind of been able to do what he wants to do, but he just has not found an answer for Aven Sentry, did not want to trade off his Urgaros, and now he's just in a spot where it's kind of removal or bust.
I mean, I like the attacks from Noah. He was trying to find some answers, and he was still putting a pretty quick clock on Zen. Problem was he just didn't find anything. Green-black, not a color combination that normally deals very well with flyers. Okay, that's actually going to work here for
Is it?
Noah.
Does he have anything to sack?
He has a Deathboom Thala that can get sacrificed and make a Sapperling, and then the Sapperling will gain 2 life.
Okay. So he does need to block the Aven Sentry then here.
Correct. And then the Glider would still get in, but Noah would at least survive at 1.
Hey, he'll take it at this point.
Absolutely.
Also, does Zen get to attack with both flyers regardless here then?
Yes. Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he... Wow, this is a good close finish here. Noah Walker desperately digging for a removal spell. It might be too late.
Yeah, pretty clear attack with the flyers here if you're Zen, I think.
Noah also has a copy of Cast Down in his deck.
Okay. Yeah, another good draw.
Yeah, so... Oh, and he also has a fungal infection.
Yeah, that would also be an amazing draw.
Wow.
But looks like he's got to make that trade finally. 4-3, 4-3-2. Still take 2 in the air and fall down to 1.
Okay, this is a huge draw step here for Walker. He needs to find some way to deal with that glider. If he does, he might be in okay shape. Land. Nothing doing. Zen Takahashi takes down game number 1. But as you can see in the middle table, Shaheen Surani is up a game over Jason Chung. And then Javier Dominguez on the end versus Eli Cassis, and they are still in game number 1.
Could be a nice little control mirror.
Yeah, it could be.
Turns out Jason, when I first started playing Magic Online, like in 30 years ago or whatever, was originally in one of my clans.
Really?
Yeah, before I joined the LR clan online.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
What was the clan called? Do you remember?
I don't remember the name.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Traitor.
But then we didn't realize until much later down the line after he had some successes at, bigger tournaments.
That's great. Well, let's take a look at what Jason's up to.
Is that the first eruption, or what is that? Flame of Keld? That must be the first eruption. He sacrificed a mountain and dealt 3.
Yeah, it is the first eruption. Man, he's playing that in the main. Boy, they are doing some weird stuff over on that side of the table. We've seen first eruption and sparring construct. Not cards you see on the battlefield very often.
Yeah, notably for first eruption, it is a forced sacrifice if you have a mountain.
That seems very relevant here
Yes.
as Jason Chung is significantly behind and now facing down Tiana. Ship's Caretaker. And we have a pretty close race as it stands, but the mana deficiency here for Jason Chung feels like he's actually behind in the race, even though it's 4 against 4, assuming the short sword gets equipped.
He was able to play an early snapper, though. Turtle,
Yeah, what happened here?
So it looks like he played the first eruption to deal 1 damage to all the creatures first.
And didn't kill anything?
Not that I can see.
It's all the non-flyers.
Yeah.
And then he used the mana from the eruption plus a land drop to play snapper.
Correct.
Okay. And now he's down to 3 lands
and then he had to sacrifice the mount. Yeah.
Awkward. And Deep Freeze is going to make Tiana Ship's Caretaker chill out a bit here.
Chill out, Marshall.
Though interesting, Short Sword could actually make her into a blocker for the snapper.
An 0-5 blocker?
A 1-5.
Or 1-5, sorry.
Yeah. Oh, boy. Did you see his hand, Jason's? He has Jaya Ballard in his hand, too. Man, he went deep with this one.
You know what's really cute? So if Shaheen equips the short sword to Tiana, and then Jason attacks in, he can bounce the Deep Freeze with his blink of an eye to kill Tiana after the damage is done.
Interesting.
And rebuys his Deep Freeze.
I like that.
Yeah, that's an awesome.
Really like that.
Awesome line. I think I say a Tashar there in Sarani's hand as well. Oh, some good ones. Baird.
Baird and Teshar. Yep, you're right. Baird is actually very annoying for Jason just because, one way he could win this game is just having the snapper be bigger than other stuff and jamming. And Baird really locks down your mana in an awkward way, though could give him a lot of time. Yeah, it's going to be Teshar instead.
Also, paired with short sword is just a 3/5 that blocks a turtle.
That's right. Sarah Disciple in the graveyard, though, for Serrani. So if he can trigger Teshart next turn, which he can,
Yep.
he can get back the Disciple. So that's some nice source of value as well.
I think we're going to see that play, Marshall.
I think so, too. And I don't really think Shaheen, has a choice here. He just has to block. And this is nice, but the mana situation still a very big problem here for Jason. So Tiana Ship's Caretaker is going to hit the bin, but no damage there on Shaheen.
And this Teshar is just kind of going to take over the game, honestly. Like just rebuying the Sarah Disciple is good enough to chump the Snapper for enough turns to start beating in the air.
Yeah, I mean, he could just equip the short sword, right?
Sure, yeah, to the Baird, as you were saying as well.
Just hook it up. And the fact especially that Jason is so low on lands means that even committing to an attack here might mean that he can't cast the spell that he wants to finish off Baird. It's just very awkward. Man, that first eruption giveth and taketh away. I mean, it let him get down the Snapper, which is probably the only reason he's still in the game at this point. But at the same time, it took away his mountain, which is why he's losing now.
Yeah, a lot of the cards in his hand, though, he wouldn't have been able to utilize very well, even if he had that fourth land. So
yeah, Jaya Ballard.
Like Skizzik, too. Like, you don't want to cast that for 4.
By the way, I just have to give it up to Jason for playing the first eruption in Jaya Ballard. Like, on one hand, it's like, oh, I get the 2 mana so I can cast it. He's an optimist, obviously, because if it takes away one of your mountains, it's pretty tough to cast a triple red spell at some point. But we know how he approaches the world now, don't we?
Goblin Barrage in hand as well.
Oh, boy. Look at this.
That is a lot of double striking damage, Marshall.
Quende, is going to trigger the Sarah Disciple, and it also has first strike already, so now double strike. And it's going to pick up the short sword. That's 6 damage in the air. Crunch. Yeah, this is not going to last very long. Jason either needs to find a removal spell for one of those 2 creatures, or he needs to find lands, and he just can't seem to do it.
Cloud Reader Sphinx off the top. Yeah, he's just...
His deck looks sweet some of the cards look sweet, but we're not going to see him on the battlefield here. I think Serrani is going to be able to finish off Jason Chung in a turn or 2. Most likely.
Oh, that's right. Serrani's already up a game.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like Javier and Zen are both up, though, so not too shabby for Jason. Gets to help out his teammates.
Yeah, he can look to the left and right and say, how's it going, gents? And they'll be like, well, better than you, buddy. 3 lands on the battlefield, facing down the ostensibly more aggressive deck on 6 lands. Never where you want to be.
Yeah, Serrani might be able to kill him this turn. We'll see if Shaheen has the tools necessary. Doesn't take too much to make that Disciple lethal.
Yeah, it's a 2-turn clock just as it sits. Oh, and look at this. Jaya's Immolating Inferno says, I'm going to do a bunch of damage. And this thing's over. That was 4 damage in the air plus another 4.
Yep.
So game.
Not too much to say there. He just even if he had his 4th land, it wasn't doing much anyways.
That's true. But I think the interesting thing though is that he's choosing to play the first eruption. I'm curious if it was out of the sideboard. When we first came in, I thought we were on game 1, but we weren't. Let's see if he's main decking it. I'm just curious. Jason Chung. Yeah, it's in the main.
Okay. I mean, I don't mind that card. I think it actually
Really?
gets people. Yeah, I think it gets people quite a bit.
Wow.
Especially against like the sapling decks. Almost all of the rounds we've seen.
Yeah, that's why you're bringing it out of the board.
There've been. I mean, in his deck, it also seemed fine, right? He's just going bigger than everything else already.
Terrible.
It seemed fine.
Really?
Yeah. Well, he was able to kill a Sarah Angel. He was able to kill another flyer, right?
Well, he killed a Sarah Disciple. I mean, the Angel did die partly because of it.
Yeah.
Right? But he needed to combine that with a card. But I mean, losing that land was ouch.
He left it in. I mean, he obviously thought it must have been fine after the first game. Too,
yeah,
so.
I think I'm on board with keeping it in my sideboard.
Sure.
And then when I see the really good, the one where it's like, wow, I'm going to kill 4 things, sometimes with this, then I might bring it in.
I will say this. I'd rather start the first eruption than Jaya in my decks.
Right. Agree with that. Yeah. He's got a few sketchy ones in there.
Yeah. No sparring construct this game for Zen.
No, but he does have Benalish Marshall.
Yes.
And that is doing good work for him here, though. I got to say, Mammoth Spider holding up a stop sign with all 8 legs here.
As it normally does. That card is just very, very good.
Yeah, it's extremely difficult to get through. Basically, we're requiring a removal spell or sometimes even a pretty good combat trick.
Yep. Yeah, unless Takahashi here can deal with the Spider, he's not going to really have any great attacks.
Yeah, Noah Walker kind of clinging to the Mammoth Spider at this point for dear life, because if that thing were to get squashed, he'd be facing down quite an attack.
He'd go to 1 if that were the case, I think.
Yikes. But Zen does not have anything, and he's going to pass the turn back to Noah. Okay, he can breathe a sigh of relief.
Yeah, now that he's untapped with at least some mana, he can gain 2 life from the Sapperling as well. So
yeah, and he's actually got attacks here as well, right?
Yep, for sure. Yeah, Omnivore is always just such a weird card.
I agree.
It's so good, both offensively and defensively. Ugh.
Oh, kicked Skin Witch. What are there, 3 cards left for Zen? Maybe 4? Yeah,
no, looks like he's just flooding out, though.
3, yeah, he just had an extra couple of lands. But Noah says no attacks this time. You may go.
Of note, he didn't play a swamp last turn. He just discarded 2 swamps, so unless he doesn't have any double black cards in his deck, that might have been just a slight error.
Okay. We see how his deck is skewed towards white thanks to the Benalish Marshall.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Looks like he has at least a little action in hand. I can't quite tell what it is, but again, if that Spider hits the bin.
And by the way, there are no double black spells.
Okay.
And there's only 4 black spells total.
Oh, so he's super heavy white.
Heavily in white. Yep. In fact, he's running a 10-6 mana base with a Memorial to Folly as well.
Okay.
So 10-7 in favor of white mana.
Well, presumably, if he didn't have a good attack last turn, he probably can't attack this turn.
Yep, and that is the exact conclusion that he comes to here. Kenji passes the turn back once again. Players tied up at 8 life apiece.
Forced jump here.
And Noah really does need to try to pick up a win this game. It would be beautiful for his team with Shaheen having won 2-0 over Jason Chung, but them losing all the other games that have been played, both of the game ones on the other tables. Evening things up here for this team would be a big game.
A little bit surprised from that block. Looks like Zen just wants to force Noah to sack a creature. But that
so Noah gets to go up to 10 and lose a Sapperling to kill 2 2/2s? Maybe he has something else. Yeah. He basically traded a 2/2 for a 1/1 there.
Right.
Strange. Kind of interesting in hand there for Zen. He has Sergeant at Arms.
Okay.
And that's actually looking quite strong here thanks to the Benalish Marshall.
Yeah, very good.
Puts out 7 power on the battlefield and cast it.
Oof.
Now another Sapherd means getting through on the ground is going to be very difficult for Zen.
Yeah, this game's just revolving entirely around that Spider right now.
Yeah, that Spider is. Oh, boy. You shall not pass. And nothing has. Since we come into this game, that Spider's been on the battlefield, and Zen has really had no good attacks. And now has even seen his board whittled down after that double block. The old double chump block. Now, if he can find a land here to kick the Sergeant at Arms, that might give him some way to fight the Thallid Omnivore. I mean, Noah has expendable creatures, but not infinite.
Sparring construct. Darn.
Short sword, which he's actually had in his hand for a couple of turns.
So it looks like he's probably
got 2 of them.
That makes sense. So he was sandbagging because playing 1 out only gives 1 trigger to the Serra Disciple. He was waiting until a turn where he could effectively get in, because this is what now, 5 damage?
Yeah, it's just enough so that the the Mammoth Spider would be a chump block, and Noah's really not incentivized to do that here because he's at 10. So he's just going to pass the turn back.
Yeah, notice he didn't equip. He's just letting one short sword hang floating, so he must have a 2-mana spell in hand.
Or want to represent
or
one
want
in
to
some
represent,
way?
yeah.
Interesting. There are a lot of 2-mana spells that matter here.
Baby.
Oh, boy.
Oh, he's not kicking it, though.
No, he's actually going to go for Migration because he says he has lethal at this point. And he's just going to send in everything.
Mm-hmm.
He knows that the Thallid Omnivore must be blocked. And if everything else gets blocked in the most efficient way, he still wins the game. So that's going to do it for game number 2. Noah Walker evens things up against Zen Takahashi. And are we going to see the short sword / sparring construct deck on the play get there, or is it going to be the slowdown deck? I like Noah's side of the battlefield here.
Yeah, as long as Noah can stave off the early beats, like
Right.
even just one sap herd on turn 3 is generally going to be pretty good. But
Definitely.
Zen does have the flyers that can push through. We saw the spider just being the brick wall there.
Oh no, the loneliest Siege Gang commander.
That is never a siege game commander you want to have.
He has lost his command.
And wow, what a position from Javier's side.
Oh my goodness, Blackblade Reforged, and he also has Urgoros out?
Yes.
This is not going to last long.
All 3 of his creatures are just very good.
Just crack in for 10 in the air.
Huh.
He's not attacking with Urgoros?
He's not attacking with Urgoros.
What's going on here?
I'm confused.
I don't know why he didn't attack.
So he must be
I mean, I keep thinking of Keldon Overseer,
but that
does
doesn't
that
matter.
do anything?
No.
It has flying.
Then he would have
You
not
just-
attacked
you-
with the spider.
Or you would have not equipped.
Right.
What is happening here?
I'm trying to parse the information.
Yeah, he's playing against blue-red, so we're not looking at... Yeah, I don't know. A card that comes to mind would be like Seal Away, right? But no,
No.
that's not a thing here. So, yeah, I don't know.
Merfolk.
Maybe he's just showing off. Maybe he's just like, I have a 10-10 that makes you discard a card. Not going to bother. Sure. Blink of an eye, Urgoros. That's fine. I mean, what are you going to do? Your green-black deck. Not much you can do. Recast it.
I wonder if Cassis might have a fight with fire in his hand that he's just waiting.
Oh, my God.
He is.
I'll tell you what. Javier is going to regret that attack if that's the case.
He's got Javier at the perfect amount of life.
He would be at 1 mana away from kicking that thing. Oh, God.
Was that a Fire Fist Adept in his hand as well?
Oh, you just made me, feel bad about myself. Oh, if he has that.
I mean, Javier is presenting lethal on board now.
Hey, I think chat figured it out.
What's that?
Eldest Reborn triggered right before we got here.
Okay.
So
there it is. That's in his graveyard.
Yeah, even though all of his lands were untapped,
Right.
it was still something sick. Good looking out, chat. We knew it was something, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
there's
yeah.
no way Javier's not attacking. And we're just like, what is going on here? Turns out the answer was in the graveyard the whole time.
Do you know there's an alternate mode on Blackblade Reforged?
What is it?
You can pay 7 mana
Oh!
to equip a non-legendary creature.
Oh. That's interesting.
Actually, no, I take that back. 7 mana just to equip. So you could pay 7 mana to equip to a legendary
You
creature.
could.
If you really wanted to.
Yeah.
But
Thank God for chat, huh, Kenji? How many times have you said that in your life?
probably too many to count.
Every day?
Yeah. More than I would like to admit. Oh, he did!
Oh, he had it! Oh, my God, he had it. Oh, my God, he needed to just draw one land, and it would have been zap your face from 10 to 0.
So you'll notice really good play there from Javier there.
Uh-huh.
He didn't equip the Urgoros.
Mm-hmm.
He equipped the spider, which could not be killed with Shivan Fire in response.
Oh,
He
super
played
smart
around
play.
a burn spell there
Well played, Javier Dominguez.
by equipping the 5 toughness creature.
And he earns the match for his for himself up there. So
Yes.
Javier won a match, and so did Shaheen Sarani, which means that we've got one table running. That's table C. And this is the one we started off on.
Yep.
This is where we'll be finishing. It is game 1. Noah Walker versus Zen Takahashi. It looks like Zen's on a mulligan here.
As long as he gets his turn 1 sparring construct, it's
Stop, Kenji.
Easy.
Stop.
Okay. Glider, land. That's a keep.
Sneeper.
Yeah, it's going to scry.
Oh.
Presumably that's a swamp on top, I would guess then.
Go.
Or another plains.
It was another plains. Banalish honor guard, but boy, I gotta say, this type of thing does not look, this type of draw, and honestly this type of strategy often falls short against these decks that are green-black that can really gum up the ground.
Yep. Oh, okay. That's a good start.
Hello. Plains on top indeed.
No cast down from Noah Walker, which means, yeah, Zen's got a nice aggro draw. I think the glider's also in his hand there. Wow. All right, Owen opting not to trade the token and the creature. And now that's a 3/2 flyer. Like,
That's real.
this is a real clock.
Yeah, and flyers are the way that Zen's deck can finish the game off thanks to the equipment that he has and the fact that they're kind of demand, removal spells or that spider. Well, this could be a close one. It's a good start for Zen Takahashi and nothing here from Noah.
So it could just be
Gotta
a
have a removal
block.
spell,
Yeah,
right?
Vicious Offering is what we saw in the other game.
And
so
I mentioned cast down in his deck
cast
too.
down, yeah.
Yeah, so he does have. Oh, and fungal infection.
Okay.
So any combination of those could be quite good here.
So this is going to be a nice
There's
one. Yep.
Vicious Offering, and he's going to maintain enough board state here to still trade with the Knight, though this is where things get interesting, Kenji, because that glider's still there.
Sure. I mean, it's a slow clock now.
It
6
is.
turns away.
But Noah's deck is very slow, and we saw him lose to an unchecked flyer.
Correct.
Now, it was a 3/2 flyer, not a 2/1 flyer. But still, he has no board state.
All right. That does change things.
Forebear's Blade dramatically changes things. 3-turn clock. Oh, boy, Eldest Reborn. Kenji, that's my favorite uncommon in this set.
Uncommon.
Guess what color I like? And he's going to use that to snap off the glider, and then next turn there's going to be a discard on the already mulliganed Zen Takahashi with really no way to get any cards going. They'll probably just discard a black card with no swamps. And then the next turn he can get back to Banalish Marshal, or if he really wants to sap herd if there's something going on. And boy,
That's going to be tough for Zen here.
real tough.
Really pivotal that he play another creature. Like, if he just doesn't have another creature this turn, it's
Really has
basically
slipped away.
over. Yeah.
Oh, there's a swamp.
Okay, this is a flyer.
That's pretty good.
And, that's actually quite good, yeah, like you said, because with the Forebear's Blade, it's a 4/1 first striker.
4/8/12?
Yep.
That was huge. The fact that Zen Takahashi had another creature, especially an evasive one, means that he has clung to life here and given himself a chance. Now, it doesn't take a whole lot for Noah to disrupt this, but he must. And he doesn't have a whole lot of time to do it. Skinwich to clear out everything. It was a jousting land.
Okay.
But still, Noah's facing some real problems here.
This game could end just from that Sarah Disciple equipped.
That's right. So, boom, for you. You're at 8. Right now, Noah does not have the ability to get back a blocker for it either. The Aether Glider is the only flyer, and
Right.
of course can't block, so he may just have to go for the Banalish Marshal, though the thought of racing from this point doesn't seem realistic.
No way.
Remember, the Disciple has first
Okay.
strike. Okay, that was big business.
And that's big for multiple reasons. It's now a 4/6, which means even one historic card from Zen does not put
my God.
the Disciple.
Great point, Kenji. Because I was thinking, okay, maybe
Yeah.
he can string together a couple of historic triggers, but now he needs a couple in the same turn.
Yes.
And Zen's passed a turn back. Now, the interesting thing is that Noah doesn't actually have attacks here. Right? That Disciple is still
Correct.
like a very good blocker.
Great blocker.
Oh, boy.
Oh.
Oh, boy.
All right, he needs to draw something this turn, otherwise it's just going to be too far out of his reach.
Yeah, because now Noah does have good attacks.
Yes.
the Thallid Omnivore representing big-time attacks, and it's a land off the top for Zen, who passes the turn back to Noah.
And game.
Oh, pierce the sky to knock that Sarah Disciple to the ground. Another Deathbloom Thallid, and we are done here, Kenji.
I think you might just be able to push lethal this turn.
Oh, my God, really?
4, 8, 12, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20? I mean, yeah, I guess.
Wow. Just one-shots him with his board to win the round. And that's Noah Walker, Shaheen Surani, and Ili Kassis taking it down. And you can see Javier just laughing in the background back there. He's like, I got away with one. I almost lost a fight with fire. But played very well to make sure that he didn't.
Yeah, absolutely.
And but it wasn't, unfortunately, enough for his side of the battlefield there, as the guys from Card Hoarder there, Noah Walker, Shaheen Surani, and Ili Kassis, are victorious. They are going to remain undefeated here, and they're going to be 4-0 going into the next round. Mm-hmm. Very good start to the day for those three excellent players, but a bummer for Jason Chung, Zen Takahashi, and Javier Dominguez. They're going to have to sort of get things together, try to finish the game strong, finish the day strong, I should say.
Yeah, we have 8 rounds today.
Yeah. So good stuff from the feature match here. Welcome back to the booth. Marshall Sutcliffe with Kenji Egashira. Thanks so much for joining us for limited action here. This is, of course, right where Kenji and I want to be, watching limited at the GP, or I don't know, maybe playing it occasionally too wouldn't be the worst case. But yeah, and so this has been really fun because we've gotten kind of lucky, Kenji, right? Like our rounds have been really good.
They've been some spicy ones.
Yeah, we had our round 2, Kenji and I were in. You're going to want to go back and watch that one as well, which was Paulo Vitor Damarosa versus Zach Hill to finish things off. And I won't spoil it in case you weren't here for it, but boy, that was an exciting finish, shall we say. And we're going to be bringing you this all day long. This is the last chance for these professional players to get into the Pro Tour 25th anniversary. Yep. And it sounds like we actually have an interview down in the feature match area. Noah Walker, what's up, buddy? Marshall Sutcliffe with Kenji Egashira in the booth. Nice win there, my friend.
Thanks, guys. Thanks.
It was a fun one to watch. You know, were you surprised? I got to ask you this, Noah. Game 1, Zen Takahashi goes land, thinks about it for a second, then he's like, sparring construct, your move. Were you like, wait a minute?
I was like, I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know what archetype he was on exactly at that point. And it was like even especially weird because it wasn't even turn 1 sparring construct. You know, it was turn 2.
Oh, it was?
Yeah, he went tap land, turn 2 swamp. Construct. So I was like, well, I'm not really sure what's going on, but definitely something aggressive. So
how did you feel about it in relation to your deck? You were playing a green-black kind of Saproling-ish deck.
Yeah, so it seemed like, you know, naturally a deck like that I would line up well against. You know, I have a bunch of like 1/3s, a bunch of stuff that makes 1/1s. I like choose draws just so that I can get the extra card like every time, just because that's how important my cards are in my deck.
That makes sense. Now, you going to go give that Mammoth Spider a big hug in between rounds?
Oh, God. That card's not even my main deck. Like, that card was... Yeah, he put in the work.
You're lucky he didn't get mad at you for not main decking because, boy, he really protected your life total there against some pretty scary situations. But your deck really did put the grinder on him in those last 2 games. It looks pretty strong.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I just have, like, green-black. I don't really have win cons, but my win con is them not winning, so, you know.
Omnivore's pretty good.
Yeah, Omnivore. I have two of those. That card wins pretty nice.
I like your win con. They don't win.
Yeah, right, exactly.
That's how I like to play. So how's the day been for you guys overall? You're 4-0. Are you pretty happy with your decks?
Yeah, 4-0, pretty solid decks. Ely's deck looks kind of medium. Sheen's deck is very good. And then I just have, like, my deck's, like, good. It's not insane or anything, but I have a lot of good synergies, so it's looking solid.
Man, Ely... Boy, he was one land away from winning his game.
Oh, God, yeah. Ely's game was so close.
Did you see that?
Yeah, the fight with fire, and then him just, like, the kick into the royal, too. Like,
totally.
So close.
Yeah, you know, Kenji and I came in the middle of that one, and Kenji actually didn't – we couldn't see Ely's hand, but he was like, wait a minute. He's like, what if he has the fight with fire? Because he's sitting at his exactly 10 with 8 lands.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
Like, oh, my goodness. But
it was insane.
But, yeah, it turns out that that Black Blade was enough to push the damage through there.
Yep.
Well, good luck the rest of the day, Noah. Thanks for taking the time to chat with us.
Of course. Thanks for having me, guys.
See you, man.
See ya.
Big Noah Walker fan. He's a really nice kid and a heck of a limited player as well. In fact, he's just a good Magic player in general. You'll see him more and more out here at the GP level and, of course, the Pro Tour level as well. We're going to take a short commercial break. When we come back, we'll have more action here from GP DC. Don't go anywhere.
GP Vegas History Draw. GP Vegas History Draw. GP Vegas history draw. GP Vegas history draw. Rakdos and Selesnya, they'll help you romp and stomp, but the best deck is a pack rat with 39 swamps. Format's great, fixing's great, morphs can be a shock. Well, that's a weird attack, God knows they've got a wingmate rock. Ugh. In a strat is easy, just 2 important steps. If you can't take spider spawning, then just slam them travel preps. Build storm or affinity, the best deck might be dredge, but everything is playable, so it's okay to hedge in the GP Vegas history draw. GP Vegas history.
Welcome back to the booth. Marshall Cycling with Kenji Egashira, and When are you going to do one of those songs, Kenji?
GP Vegas history dropped.
He can sing. He really can. You ever seen him at karaoke? It's lights out. What was the one? He hit that note.
Take on me.
Yes, that was it. Unbelievable. We're going to be watching Time Walk Magic now and getting off the subject of anybody singing that perhaps shouldn't be. Let's get a look here. Now we're about, roughly 20 minutes in to this. As you can see, Joel Larson has already dispatched of Corey Dissinger, and James Eveland has beaten Thomas Hendricks in the middle.
Oh.
So as we come in, it's JR versus Ivan, and we are underway here in game number 2.
Ivan doesn't play creatures.
In Limited he does, buddy.
It feels so good to play a turn 1 Llanowar Elf. It just kind of warps the game.
It does. It feels unfair.
It does. Yep, for sure. Same thing with Elfame Druid. Wow, this looks like standard.
It does. Reveal a Steel Leaf.
Champion.
Do it. Do it. Flock.
Oh, my God. I thought it was for a second. I thought it was.
It's a little worse than that card. It's Grun, the Lonely King. Now, I got to say, this part doesn't feel quite as good.
Sure.
But still, if he plays a 4-drop next turn, he'll be right back in action. Also, Ivan can basically rule out that JR has
Shivan Fire
at this point, right?
Looks like JR's is up a game, though, so we'll see if he can string another win here in the next 2 games.
This is a really nice team out of Europe, by the way, and one I haven't seen play together. By the way, looks like he found a Shivan Fire.
He must have just drawn that, yeah.
I think he just drew it, yeah. But Flock, Hendricks, and Larson is a team I haven't actually seen those 3 particulars together. Not that I remember, and that is nice. Couple of Pro Tour champions on that team. Hendricks is a Pro Tour mainstay as well. Very solid player, so I like that squad.
Well, these players probably just, they're here for the PT more so than anything else.
Totally.
Just grouped up anyways.
All mana all the time here for Ivan. He's going to just go the easy mode here on Grow from the Ashes. I mean, you always want to kick it if you can engineer a situation, because this format does give you the ability to spend a large amount of mana, but it looks like Flock is just going to go grab a forest. So not an exciting turn for him, but perhaps a setup. He was going to miss his land drop, though, it looks like.
No, that was his turn 3, right? So.
Oh, no. You're right, Kenji. My bad. Yeah. That was his turn 3. Untamed Kavu unkicked for JR.
It's a little surprising considering that there wasn't anything on the board already. And if he already has some lands in hands, I think generally if you're in that position, you just wait on the Kavu.
Definitely. Little bit early on the Kavu there from JR, but we see what Ivan was setting up. He actually was going to miss a land drop, but he didn't miss one that turn. But there's Baloth Gorger, the big 4/4. And it's going to crunch. Does he have another one? No, he has a Thallid Omnivore. But that makes that Kavu play. Yeah. Oof.
So much worse. Like JR now, if he just has a 5th land.
Which he drew, but I believe had in his hand already.
Oh, I think I see is that a Rata in his hand as well? That might be his very front card.
I think you're right, Kenji.
Warlord time.
There she is, Rata. That's a nice one here.
For sure. And he's actually attacking with the Kavu, too. So he's going to get 3 mana in combination of red and green, which doesn't empty until his end of turn.
Yeah, well, Flock says, show me then.
Yep. I think what's likely is that JR might just have another 4-drop or a 3-drop. No, it must be a 4-drop because he wouldn't have attacked with the Kavu otherwise.
And he just threw the Kavu away.
Ooh, Radiating Lightning. All right.
Okay, so he did not just throw the Kavu away.
And he also got in for
very
an extra
clever
3 points
play
of damage there.
I like that from JR.
Yeah, I still don't like the Kavu.
Agreed. But if you're going to play it early,
right,
at least he leveraged it
Correct.
in some way. But I agree with you.
Oh, wow. Actually,
Cancel that order. Yvonne Flock has a nice one, Soul Salvage.
sure, but this is pretty slow turn for it. Well, okay. Maybe.
In the world? All the elves.
Can I get that radiating lightning back, please?
No kidding.
There's a life total. Okay. Yeah, JR still putting Yvonne under the clock. Warcry Phoenix still going to get in there. And remember, this is just that any creature, so he's going to have that 6 mana now. Or 7 potentially.
Juggernaut.
Yep. Juggernaut solid on this board as well. There is a Grun we know of.
That's right. We're going to see that at the minimum. But honestly, if Flock has something else. Oh, he just drew Broken Bond. Not a bad answer for a Juggernaut.
Yeah, and so conveniently, if he has a land, he can also play the Grun, but looks like he might not have it.
Okay, so he's just going to settle for the Grun here.
Yeah, that...
I mean, he kind of has to put maybe the Elf in front of the Juggernaut.
I think that's probably going to be the line.
This is a little bit of a scary turn here for Flock.
Absolutely.
Oh, boy, Skizik with Kicker.
Yowza.
Yeah, JR's deck is scary. Lots
Yes.
of haste. Even just a Warcry Phoenix. But look, 3 of the 4 creatures on the battlefield have haste.
Yeah, something's going to have to definitely trade away with the Skizik this turn. We're probably going to see maybe even a double block of some variety. I guess the Grun can jump straight in front of the Skizik and not take any trample damage. I mean, at this point, if you're Flock, you probably keep the Grun just because you need a clock on
Yeah.
your opponent as well.
And it is an insanely
Right.
good clock. So this has him taking, what, 3
3
damage?
damage, going down to 5.
5, so it's still 3-turn clock in the air with
Right.
the Warcry.
Yep.
Okay. That seems acceptable if you're in Flock seat,
Yeah, I think so for sure.
especially that you get to crunch in for 10.
It's unlikely that JR has anything else to do this turn. You know, you have an Omnivore in your hand as well that's going to help the Grun push for lethal in a few turns.
And again, if he does have that Broken Bond that I saw, then he has an answer for the Juggernaut as
absolutely.
well. So seems to be a reasonable position here for Flock, though tenuous. It wouldn't take a whole lot for JR to be able to push through.
Yeah, it's actually going to be pretty close. Grun, a very fast clock.
Yeah, Grun can attack for 10 damage here, all by his lonesome. Kill the Juggernaut. Leave you with Rada and a Warcry Phoenix plus whatever else Flock can put together with his remaining mana.
Well, you know JR doesn't have anything that costs 3 or less in hand, creature-wise. Otherwise, they would have cast it out already
Okay.
because they had 3 mana floating.
And didn't play a land that turn.
Right, correct.
So what kind of stuff would you be thinking about then, Kenji? Combat tricks? Those could have been cast as well.
No, if JR had a combat trick, they almost certainly would have used it to save the
Right.
Skizik.
So what's less? What's left?
Just, I'd say probably some larger threats or just feigning.
A couple of lands.
Yeah, it could be a land and maybe one other spell that wasn't entirely relevant to cast.
Yeah, there's so few cards that you wouldn't cast with that remaining mana.
Right, absolutely.
Any equipment you would cast, basically any artifact. You mentioned creatures, combat tricks would have got cast. I guess a removal spell, but those seem good here too. Oh, look at this.
Torgar.
Target me. I'm going to gain 5 life.
And that's why we saw the Spore Swarm cast main phase there.
That's right. So now Flock goes back up to 10 and has a big 7/6.
Yeah, which eats Juggernaut.
That's right.
Okay.
Land. And what are those last 2 cards now?
Wow, does... Oh, no, the life total's not updated yet, I was going to say. With Flock at 10, it's pretty safe. JR does have lethal damage, but... I mean... We need 2 removal spells here of some sort. All right, Juggernaut jumps. So the Phoenix is not attacking Marshall, notably this turn,
Okay.
which means it's probably going to be used to chump the Grun, I would imagine. As Flock now has 2 lethal creatures. Grun does not need the power boost.
No, just as a 5/5 Grunt's
Yep.
lethal.
And JR has only 2 creatures that can block.
Chump, chump. Sure.
Yeah, I'm wondering what JR has in hand.
Yeah, well, he played a land and the glider this turn,
Right.
so one of those was in hand the turn prior. Maybe just sandbagged a land and drew the glider, or just chose not to cast the glider.
I think he might have another Skizik. I could be wrong, but
No, Skizik doesn't do it.
Spore Swarm, I think.
Spore Swarm would make sense. It's 4 mana, and a couple turns ago, only on access to 3. There is a Spore Swarm,
Okay.
which actually does keep JR alive, blocking 3 lethal threats somehow. Wow, lots of mana here for Flock. Elfim Druid.
Yeah, he has 2 Llanowar Elves and an Elfim Druid.
But I don't see how JR gets out of this and actually wins the game.
No, even a land Overseer doesn't do it anymore with
Yeah,
it.
he was in scoop position there,
Yep.
and does indeed pack it in. So Yvonne Flock winning game number 2 with the round on the line.
Yes.
He's got to win another one to keep his team of Euro pros at 4-0. If he doesn't, it's going to be JR, James, and Corey with the upset.
Yeah, this should be an interesting match as JR goes a little bit faster, but
Yes,
Flock has not only lots of ramp, but bigger creatures.
goes a little taller.
Yes.
Yeah. I wouldn't be feeling too great if I was JR, though. The matchup seems not bad by any stretch, but not great. And he's playing against, well, one of the better players around, just full stop.
JR's deck looks pretty good. Ooh, we might see Keldon Overseers do some real work this match, too. He has 2 Keldon Overseers, 2 Sheevan Fire, 2 Skizik. Yeah, so he must have had a Skizik in his hand as well. 2 Wizard's Lightning.
Oh, double Skizik, huh?
Yeah.
That's scary. This deck is absolutely frightening.
2 Juggernauts. 2 Untamed Kavu.
Wow, that is a lot of power and toughness that
Yeah.
he can throw into the red zone.
Oh, JR also has 2 Llanowar Elves, so wow, just very
Wow.
solid decks both sides.
Really, 2 Llanowar Elves into those 4 drops? That is really good.
Ooh. No early plays there for JR, though, and, well, he's probably happy to see the elf attack in for 1 this turn.
Oh, yeah, I always feel relieved when I see that.
Oh my
Another
gosh.
elf. So Elfim Druid and Llanowar Elves for Yvonne Flock means the next turn could be absolutely explosive, but oh, wow. The scariest cards in the format are all for JR. He has Keldon Overseer, which is going to get in for 3 damage here. Wow. Seriously. 2 Skiziks, Keldon Overseer, Rada. Like, you never get to rest. Ooh, an island out of Flock.
Kicked Grow from the Ashes now because the Druid.
That's right.
And remember, these lands enter the battlefield untapped, so he's able to cast a 3-drop here if he has one. Wow, what a turn.
Looks like he didn't have anything this time. Cut that. Thank you.
Oh, did he just pass with 4 mana? So this could be Spore Swarm.
Yeah, it could be, or he could have some number of Skizik. Uh-oh. This is a value engine that JR needs to deal with. Kenji, you and I started the day talking about mini games.
Yep.
We have one on our hands here.
Tatiova, Benthic Druid.
Yeah, she is going to dominate this game if JR doesn't have an answer. No play on turn 4, 0 mana used.
Jeez.
That is a disaster. Don't say Llanowar Elves.
Yeah.
No 5-drop?
I think this game is... The writing's on the wall already, and now Yvonne is just going to be playing out his large creatures.
How
whether
much
it
would
be-
you pay to switch seats with Yvonne right now just to get to play the rest of this game?
I
This
mean,
is the best, right?
Is it though?
Oh my God, yes. Your opponent stumbling around, casting turn 5 Llanowar Elves. You have Tatiova. You haven't won yet, although
Yeah,
now he
well.
played a Bailoff Gorger, and that's going to help.
It's not much of a game, I'll say that much.
You don't like playing with your food, huh?
Well,
Just get it done.
get it done with. I mean, look at this. It's just disgusting.
Loving this.
Just
So
disgusting.
jealous right now.
Like, normally you think drawing lands at this point in the game is like, ugh, whatever. No, but it's just extra fuel, extra life. Flock still playing it conservative. Didn't attack with a 7/7 as it is technically a free eat on the Juggernaut if
Yep.
JR doesn't have anything
He
here.
wants to get his value.
This could be Gift of Growth. Yes, it is. And I think Flock has a Vicious Offering in hand, so this is not going to end very well for Team Red-Green.
Yeah, and I don't think it's going to end well for that Llanowar Elves either. I don't know if you saw that hand come in and say, sack that.
Oh.
It's like, no, not me, wait. And down it goes.
And that's just playing it safe. Obviously, you could just give -2/-2, and it would still be good for you. But the Elf's just not doing anything at this point anyways.
Spore Crown Thallid was the draw there for Flock, and every other card he's drawn has been a land just to keep that going. He's not going to miss a land drop for the
Nope.
rest of the game, most likely. How about this? You take 7. Deal? All right, cool. You're down to 12. Replacement Llanowar Elves and the Spore Crown Thallid as well.
I'm surprised Flock did not also attack with the Omnivore then.
I am a little surprised, too.
Yeah, just play out some of those creatures pre-combat. Your Omnivore is a 4/4 because of the Spore Crown.
Right. With Flock at 21, there's just so
Yeah, so few
it's
so
just
few things that
nothing bad
punish
can
you.
happen, yeah. Wizards Lightning way too late. So he wins the mini game, but not really.
Yeah, there's another one.
No way. His draw step was Tatiova. Is this real?
Ay, ay, ay.
The perfect draw at the
Yeah.
perfect time. The truth is that this one's already in the books anyway. Yvonne Flock significantly ahead of his opponent, JR.
Not too much to say about this game, Marshall. It
No,
was
there's
just
really not.
one-sided.
Except for that it's a really nice win for the European team here.
Mhm.
This was not locked up. When we came in, Flock was fighting to win game number 2,
Yeah.
down a game. Now it's locked up.
I would say so.
I mean, green-red just doesn't have the firepower to – I mean, there's no cards in the set that
You could have a Multani, you know?
– a Multani, I think, is too slow here.
Or a kicked Fight with Fire
Like,
to
he
clear
has
out.
2 Thallid Omnivores now. Like,
yeah.
those just eat Multani.
Yeah, but Multani comes back, and you have to
Sure.
trade away a lot of creatures.
How about this? You take 2.
Yeah, send him in.
Well, I'll tell you what. If JR draws Multani, I still like Flock's chances to win.
Agreed.
Although Multani's nice.
One of the best in the format.
Agreed. Reach is just
Icing.
so good.
Icing. All right, got some force blocks here because JR is being attacked by so many creatures.
And we're going to see JR's entire board get decimated here, and we're done. That's going to do it.
Alrighty.
Yvonne Flock takes down the match and the round for his team. Again, impressive stuff. That was not guaranteed. He needed to win back-to-back games to get the job done, but easy Yvonne Flock, and he did. We're going to take a short commercial break. When we come back, we'll have more magic here from DC. Don't go anywhere.